Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome to the podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to be as objective as I possibly can on here. And by the way, this I'm wearing the Juno T-shirt as a cautionary tale for everybody who thinks it can't happen to them. If you if you ignore your own product, yeah, you're gonna go the way of the Juno, man. It's crypto. It is what it is. So anyway, I've been seeing a lot of chatter on Twitter, and it seems Sumo's kind of leading the charge up there as far as education, outreach, all that other good stuff. I think it's a fantastic thing, and it's something that's definitely necessary for Kajira. Uh, One of the things just my opinion, the hell do I know, right? Old man doesn't get it, but one of the things that's really that's really I think kept a lot of users out of here is the tribalism, man. You guys, when that token was up, man, you guys were simply intolerable, taking the victory laps, and then when the token goes down, then you're pointing fingers and looking for who to blame. The whale that's single-handedly crushing your token. By the way, that's not a good narrative. I'd maybe keep that one to yourself. You don't want to let anybody who may be coming into this token to let them know that one person can destroy them at any time. That's very memeish, very ruggish. I would keep that to myself. But you know what? It's your community. So we've been I mean I've been hard on you. I think a couple things could change and really turn this that could really get the momentum going back your way. The dex is confusing. I get it, man. I've heard the argument, sonar, but you can't force consumers to use the product the way that you think it should be used. You want to build the product the way that consumers would prefer it be built. There's a quote that I base my life on, and it was actually from it was simple: find out what the people want and build it. Now, the person who said that was Walt Disney, and you gotta admit he kind of built a successful business using that mentality. And my other favorite is from Steve Jobs: is you start with the consumer and build backwards to the tech. That's what you do, and you got to admit Jobs was kind of successful as well. But so I do have some criticisms of the Dex itself, but there are some things that you do that it does well. And what they really need, what you need is you need a face. You need to get somebody out there, somebody from the community, somebody with good verbal skills that can literally just crank out educational content for you. I think it's desperately needed. And then you use your community to push that educational content everywhere, just so people simply understand. Because if you're not going to change it and make it user friendly, then you are going to have to educate people on how to use it. It's going to have to be one of those two things. Now, my biggest critique on here is still the blue button. There is simply no blue button up here. Now, the blue button that I'm talking about, and I mentioned this on another stream, but I'll show it. I'll show it here. This is Coinbase. All right, this is one of the most elementary user interfaces that exists. But you got to admit, Coinbase has been fairly successful. So it's not because they are so wildly superior on their user interface, user experience. It's because people understand their user interface and user experience. Now, the big thing is that right there, that buy and sell button. If I had any critique of Kajira, it's that Cato button should be sitting right there on every page, every one of these different apps in here. That big blue Cato button should be sitting right there so that anybody who's never visited here before can come right over here and know how to get money onto the Kajira Dex. DeFi people, we know how. All right, we know how, or we should know how. But you got to broaden your base, man, and broaden your base is new users and make it easy on them. Now, the other thing that I think would really benefit the community as a whole is featured pools, and not just look at the APR, but consider all the implications of the pool. Now, this one I happen to think is one of the best pools over here on Kajira. It's not for the APR. All right, the high APR inflationary high APR days. Look, those are gone. All right, they're gone. Different dexes might have different models that'll give them a little bit of sustainability, but overall it's gone. So yes, you did do well. I hate the basket of tokens. I love the fact that you finally put up a dustbuster on there, but because I hated the basket of tokens, man, I would literally not provide any liquidity over here because I didn't want to deal with that. So the dustbuster is a wonderful idea, but let's talk about this particular pool, even with the meager APR, and what this can really mean. Now, Kajira has been having Kajira's had a lot of price action issues, but they're not by themselves. All right, everybody out here has just been getting shellacked lately. Currently, they're picking up. They're getting some uptick. So, what does that mean in regards to a pool such as this? Now, one of the things that I'm always looking for is how I can maximize the use of my tokens wherever they happen to be. Now, what will happen if you actually provide liquidity in a pool like this? So, as the Kajira goes up in value, and based on this, if you can hold the trend, the market gets good, doesn't matter. But as long as Kajira goes up in value and you are in a pool just like this, meaning that you are overpegged with a stable token, as Kajira goes up in value, the machinations of the DEX will slowly liquidate that Kajira and it'll become USDC. Now, why would something like that be advantageous? Because it gives you an opportunity to get USDC out without impacting the price of the token. You don't have to just purely sell off the Kajira to get cash because as it goes up in value, you are going to get cash organically and be able to pull it out. Now, this is another DEX, but it was what we used as our illustration today. So there's a similar pool, and it's right over here. This is AXV and USDC Noble. Uh, it's a DEX token paired with a stable. Kajira is a DEX token that's paired with a stable. Now, this number right here, this is the dollar portion of it, continues to go up and up and up as AXV goes up and up and up. So, because it's a small token, a very small DEX, I do not want to dump tokens and affect the DEX, but I still want to increase my cash position. This is how you do it. Now, these come down to timing, particularly on this one because the inverse happens when the token starts to shed value. Your USDC in here will slowly be liquidated to cover up the price difference between the USDC and the KUJI. It is what it is. Now these pools, I'm not speaking from a position of authority here, all right, because I see right now that these pools are unbalanced. There's what, let's say 600,000 USDC and about 820 Kajira. So when I go to provide over here, because I see that I have I just have a tiny bit of USDC. That this won't even work. It'll cost me more to do it. But we'll do it anyway because I want to see what that is. So, uh, yeah, actually, that's pretty well balanced. I'll spend some money because I'm gonna mint 35 cents here. But oh my God, 39 cents, guys, to put it up. That's more than I actually put in. You know what? It's a fun video. We'll go ahead and lose money right here on this. But this is another thing that should be in your videos. That should be in the videos, whoever you guys happen to choose to come up here and mint them. And I'm going to lose more money here. So my estimated returns are nothing. And yeah, so we'll provide it. And yeah, there we go. So the liquidity's back in. We're off. We're rolling, and we'll kind of see what happens. But these are the things that should be in these videos that you're putting out. Nice and simple. Make it fun. Make it kind of friendly. Explain the ramifications of it going back and forth. That pool is actually one that I would consider putting more money in. And I'd be doing it because Kujira does have one really, really neat thing going for it that people simply don't talk about, and that is your Osmo exposure. You do not have a lot of Osmo exposure. If you come over here to the osmosis pools, and I just typed in Kajira, all right, you're paired over here with three different tokens. You're paired with Osmo at $187,000, guys. That's not much. You're paired with USDT, 52,000, and hydrogen, hydrogen at 1,700 bucks. But this is a good thing. This is a good thing because now, as Osmo eats it really, really hard, you guys don't get as much of the blowback. So I actually see this as a good thing because you don't want people rushing over to Osmosis to trade the Kuji token. I get you want customers anywhere you can get them, but you don't want to get those customers at the expense of being married into Osmosis because nothing out here is going to move. I mean, at all. It is going nowhere until that token goes. But you guys, Kajira is in an interesting place in the fact that you can move without Osmo. So all of this, I'm sorry, look, man, I consider this very, very important and very practical information. And I would just love to see the Kajira community spitting this stuff out. It's important. I don't have to love it to make money on it. And I'm more than happy to support as safely as I can anything that's going up. It's not about me, man. It's about everybody. So if my actions can help, then I can earn a little bit of money on it, man. I don't see any downside to that. So anyway, that's it. This is what I would love to see out of the Kajira community, and I hope you guys are serious about it. You need to get the word out. You need to make them fun. You need to make them informative. You need to make them educational, but you need to make them. That's it, man. Like questions or comments, Scott at thepodcast.com. I'm sure this one will go over well. Any questions or comments, man, right there. And until next time, please stay safe and please be smart with your money, guys. Cheers.